Hello guys, and welcome back to Life with Paulie. I'm currently standing outside my car right now. This is Annabelle, my puppy. She is playing with her toy in the car, of course, on the bed. If you can't tell, this is my bed that I got in the back, a twin mattress memory foam topper that I have in the back. It's very comfortable for us. And I'm getting ready to clean out the car and do some things with the car today. If you're unfamiliar with my channel, I moved out of my apartment into my 2007 Saturn Ion so I could save enough money to buy a used SUV or a van to turn into my tiny home. Of course, there's things that have come up, and I can tell you right now that if you choose the car life or the van life, it is not totally free. I've spent a lot of money so far in getting different things that I needed. And I also had to do some car repairs because I just had to have this car re-inspected again for this year. As you can see here, I got my new inspection sticker 2024. But when they went to inspect it, they found out that the tie rods were bad, so they had to replace those. So that costed me $475 to do. To get it inspected, but now it's inspected until next year. I will definitely have an SUV or a van before next inspection time, and I won't have to worry about it. This car will be going to a junkyard. I love this car, but there's a lot of issues with it. One of them being the seat, this front seat, driver's seat, as you can see. That was ripped when I got it, but of course it got ripped over time and just got worse. I've had this car now for about 6 years, I think. But it's been a pretty good car to me. I love this car, and the reason why I love the car is because it's all plastic. This whole car is plastic. The only thing that's not plastic on my car is the roof, and the hood is also metal. But the doors and everything else on this car are plastic. So the outside body can't really get rusted. However, underneath and inside the door frames, as you can see there, there's some rust there. But the rust underneath is very, very bad. A lot of the lines are rusted. I had the gas lines replaced a couple years ago because they were rusted out. I know soon that the brake lines will probably go and things like that because it's very rusted underneath. Of course, we're in New York weather, so it's really bad here in New York during the winter time with the salt and things like that and the snow. So yeah, this car will be going to a junkyard. I was going to give it to someone or sell it for maybe $500, but I'm not even going to do that. I mean, there is junk places that buy cars for parts and stuff, so I'll probably get a couple $100 for it, but I will not be giving it to anybody because it's not really, I wouldn't consider it safe around that time because of the simple fact is it's rusting out on the bottom. There's actually holes in some of the floors underneath, right through. So I will be getting rid of this car. I will not be selling it. It will be going to a junkyard. But I moved out of my apartment so I could save money to live the van life, car life. It's a life that I chose after I lost my mom in February of 2022. I stayed in our apartment for another year after I lost my mom, but then I decided to get out of there because I was having a lot of issues with the neighbors and things like that just bought the house next door and didn't want to deal with that. And so I decided to move into my car and become a nomad and live that lifestyle. But I could tell you right now, it's not totally free to do. There's a lot of things that I had to spend on, you know. One of them being the tie rods to get my car inspected. That was $475. So now I got to make up that money also. It's not going to be a new van or a new SUV. It's going to be a used one. I don't believe in paying payments on a vehicle because then if something happens and you can't pay those payments, your car gets taken away from you, you know, and I don't want that happening. So I just buy my vehicles outright. I bought this about 7 years ago, and I paid like almost $4,000 for it. I think I paid $3,500 for it when I got it. But I'm looking for a used SUV or a van that I could turn into my tiny home. And I will be showing that process once I get that. Now, I do have other videos on my channel of my car and how I got it set up. As you can see here, this is the back right now. I have a little thing up blocking the back for some privacy at night and darkness at night. And I also keep things over my windows at night, especially if it's raining. I have like these little screens in the front so I can keep my window open at night, at least during the summertime. Um, it's becoming a little bit cooler here in New York, but it is supposed to get up to 80 degrees on Monday, next Monday. Today is Tuesday, the 26th. So next Monday it's supposed to be 80 again. But of course, it's going to start getting colder because it's going to be October. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be buying a little camp stove and a cover for that camp stove to keep it inside the car so I can keep me and the puppy here warm. I will be hooking it up to a propane tank that I will keep on the outside of the car. I will not have that inside of the car. So I will be doing that for winter to keep warm, and I'm just going to save my money up to buy the new SUV, used SUV, and to transform it into my tiny home. But that's going to take some time. I probably will not be buying the SUV until after winter time, so it's going to be another 4 or 5 months. But I do other videos on this YouTube channel, including talking about different topics, just different things, talking about Annabelle here. So if you're interested in that kind of content, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. It's totally free to do. That's one way you can support this YouTube channel and other YouTube channels is by hitting the subscribe button and the ding in the bell and for all notifications. And, that's one way you can support the channel for totally free. I'm not big on building this channel. I've had this channel now for a couple years and been doing videos constantly, and it takes a while to build up a YouTube channel. And I know that I'm probably not going to get bigger. And if I do, it won't be for a long time. And in that aspect, I probably won't be around for a long time. Because I have a lot of health issues going on. If you don't know, I had a heart attack, a widowmaker heart attack in 2021 and almost died. That is where you have 100% artery blockage in your heart, and that destroyed 35% of my heart. I also have diabetes. I have high blood pressure. I have high cholesterol, which I'm taking pills for. I'm on lots of meds for my heart, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. So it's been quite a journey. I have a lot of health issues. And then last year, I was in the hospital again in October of 2022, the end of October. Because I had some holes in my esophagus that were bleeding and I did not know it, and I lost a lot of my blood. So I ended up in the hospital for a week then and had to have a blood transfusion. So I got a lot of health issues. And I know it takes a long time to build a YouTube channel, and that's not my goal here, is to build it really big and start making money off of it. I'm just doing this to have somebody to talk to and to share my journey while I'm still here on this earth. I can say that I do know pretty much my timeline left on the earth, and that is probably another few years, if that. And that is because of my heart condition and things like that. They say that there's a percentage of people that live 5 years, and the percentage is pretty low. If you have a pacemaker put in, I know they say you can last 10 years. But with all the health issues that I got put together, I kind of put a timeline on my life of 5 years, and it's been 2 years already since my heart attack. So I'm guessing I only have about another 3 years left. So I'm just living life like this and going to get the, SUV or van, turn it into my tiny home and just finish out the rest of my life with my puppy. I've done a lot of things in my life already. I had 3 daughters. They're all growing. They all work very hard for their money. Very proud of them all. I've had, a couple long time relationships, and a pretty much good life all the way around, except for when I was a child. I had an abusive childhood, and I do have videos of that on my YouTube channel also, when I talk about Ruby Frankie or whatever the case may be. I tell my story in that video, so if you're interested in hearing that, you can go back and watch that video. But I'm currently down by my daughter's house. This is my daughter's. She rents a house for $900 a month. No, that's not the house, that's a shed. I park outside of her house, and I'm closer to her. I did used to live 2 hours away, which was too far for me and too far from her for her, and it was pretty complicated. So I decided to live this life and be closer to my daughters. Two of them. I have two daughters that live out here. One, I'm on her property right now, and then one that lives about 20 minutes away. I'm close to her, so in case anything happens, or when that time does come, she don't have to travel a couple hours away to make the arrangements. I figured I'd be closer to her, and it'd be better for me, especially if I end up in the hospital. She'd be able to help me by coming to get me after I was done at the hospital and coming to see me and things. And with living 2 hours away, it was really hard to do that. It was really hard for her to do that. When I ended up in the hospital last October, she was at my house, and she's the one that called the ambulance. She was at my house visiting. We were actually at a friend's funeral when I got sick, and she ended up calling the ambulance when we got home. But she wasn't able to visit me after she dropped me off at the hospital. She had to come back home 2 hours away. She works very hard Monday through Friday. Well, at the time she was working Monday through, or no, she was working, I don't know what she was working, but right now she works Monday through Friday, and she works very hard. She works from 12 p.m. until 8 p.m. So pretty much her whole day is gone. Her and her husband's day is gone. So that's why I moved down here, just to have a little bit of family time, especially before God chooses me to go. They did want to put in a pacemaker or a defibrillator, and I didn't do that. I figure what time I got left is what time I got left. When God chooses me to go, he chooses me to go. Because if you're unaware, a pacemaker or defibrillator does help, but it cannot stop you from having a heart attack or your heart failing. And my heart is pretty much destroyed from the Widowmaker heart attack. So yeah, that's where I am now. If you're interested, and you just want to see what I'm up to, please consider hitting the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.